Hello, welcome back to this channel. I am Olivia and I am the owner of Profits and Books Bookkeeping Services and also QuickBooks Certified. Let me add that, Certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor. Today I want to talk about in South Africa now. When you are self-employed, when you have your own business and you want to apply for funding from the bank or for financing, whatever way you want to phrase it, when you want to borrow money from the bank, what now happens is that the bank requests that you go to the bookkeeper and get a letter. I want to talk about that letter. That letter states that your books are in order and you are actually eligible for the loan, that you do qualify for the loan because your money management is in place, and that is the letter that comes from your bookkeeper. In a nutshell, you could phrase it different ways, but basically what that letter states is to confirm that you can afford the money that you want from the bank. So that sounds easy enough, right? No. If you never had a bookkeeper, it always comes down to this. If you've never had a bookkeeper and your business is doing well and you want to expand or you need money for whatever reason, and you are self-employed, which means you don't have a pay slip, you don't have a salary slip, let me put it that way, salary slip. So the bank has no proof of your income. So that's why you're not a salary earner. You work for yourself. What happens? For you to get that letter is a process, because lots of people or business owners are under the impression that you just go to the bookkeeper and say, I need a letter, and she writes or he writes a beautiful letter, and you take that to the bank and voila, you get your money. That's not how it works. Let me explain the process to you. When you get the letter when you get that instruction from the bank, where it says go back to your bookkeeper and ask for a letter. For you to get the letter, I need at least 12 months bank statement. The bank might require 24 months or 36 months bank statements, especially if you are not banking with the bank where you want to borrow the money. They would need more bank statements. So let's say you want to borrow money from the bank where you are actually banking. And they say, like best case scenario, they say we need 12 months bank statements. Or they say we need the letter. So now you come to your bookkeeper and you say, look, actually the one you've never had. It's the first time now you need a bookkeeper. So you look on the internet for bookkeepers, you Google, and you find someone that you think that maybe this bookkeeper is able to help me. And then you come and you say, I need a letter. And now this is what is going to happen. The bookkeeper is going to ask you 12 months bank statements. From that bank statements, right, they are going to create accounts in the bookkeeping system for you. 12 months of bank statements. Each of the lines on your bank statement, it needs to go to a certain place. Either it's an income or it's an expense. So that accounts need to be created. Once that is created, it's going to take time. Then on top of that, once everything is in order, provided that you have a client list, provided that you have a supplier list, provided that you have receipts and invoices, that you have records of how you made your money and how you spend it. That's all the information your bookkeeper needs. Now, best case scenario, all the information you provide, then the accounts get created. So when those accounts have been created, remember, it's 12 months of bank statements. Each month needs its own information. They are called monthly management reports, which as those reports include your balance sheet, your profit and loss statement, and then also your cash flow statement. I cannot give you those documents. I cannot give you that information without you providing information to me. So that is month 1, income and expenses. Month 2, income and expenses. Month 3 up until month 12. Each month must have its own information based on what is on your bank statements. That sounds easy enough. Where does the problem and the cost comes in? What happens? In most cases, you only have your bank statement. You don't have customers and suppliers. So now, what is on your bank statement? It must be matched with a customer or a supplier. And if you don't have that, you're not going to get the money from the bank. You're not. I can tell you that with certainty. Because the bank wants to know, and this is at the heart of the letter. What the bank wants to see is what is your income and what are your expenses? And are you making enough money to cover your expenses and still have a profit at the end of the month? And that information, they need it for every month of those 12 months. So after 12 months, you will then get a report that will be for the 12 months. And that report will give you the picture of a whole year. What's your profit and losses? What goes on your balance sheet? And your cash flow. I just want to stop with the cash flow, because when you want the letter, cash flow forms part of it. What cash flow is, it isn't something that I can make up. The cash flow of your business is to show the bank that you have enough cash at hand, which means you have enough cash available to cover all your expenses. When I say that, you don't have to have 5 million rand in your bank account. No, they just want to know that at least you make a profit consistently every single month. It shows the bank that when you have your income, when you've made your money and you've paid everything, that you have money left, you've made a profit. And that is what the bank needs to see. They don't want, and let me explain again about profits. People think that you must double your money when you have a business. No, profit means when you have sold stuff, say you have stock, and you sold the stock for 600,000 rand. But at the end of the month, you still, to get your stock, you needed to pay fuel. You needed to maybe pay for transport because they needed to bring the stock to you. You needed to pay the supplier who provide the stock for you. You needed to pay the driver who brings the stuff to you. Those are your expenses. So remember, you sold it for 600,000 rand. The bank doesn't want you to make 1.2 million. What the bank wants to see is you sold it for 600,000 rand after covering your expenses, after everything has been deducted from what you have sold it for, your gross profit. At the end of everything, there must be a plus, not a minus, and that is a profit. So, to come back, that's all the information that once the bookkeeper has sorted out your books, That is the information that will then be provided to the bank so that they can see that you've made a profit. Yeah, some months were maybe better than others, but still, you made a profit overall. All of that information, all of it, it starts from capturing your bank statements, creating accounts that will reflect your income and your expenses, and what stock you have available and how much you paid for that stock. Once all of that is compiled, only then will there be enough information for a letter. And it's not just the letter. Can you imagine if you could come to me and I just type a beautiful letter? This is to confirm from Profits and Books Bookkeeping that client A can afford the loan. How many people would just come to me and ask me for that letter? No. What the bank wants is proof of what I'm saying in the letter. And that proof comes from the information I've just told you about, from your bank statements and your accounts that were created from the bank statements. So once I have that information, I can then write a letter, and then with the letter provide the profit and loss statements, which shows your sales, your income, and your expenses, and also your balance sheet. The balance sheet shows what are your current assets, what do you have now, how much stock do you have that you can sell immediately to turn into cash. It also shows again your income and your expenses. What do you owe? What do you own? What do you make? And what do you spend? That's on the balance sheet. And then your cash flow statement. It shows how much cash, how much liquidity. Remember the word liquidity? It gets thrown around so many times. Basically, that means how much cash do you have available? What can you sell immediately and convert it into cash? Do you have a savings account, or within the bank account itself, do you have a positive balance? Those are the things that the bank look at. Now, when everything is in place, then of course, you can get the letter with the documents to confirm what is in the letter. So the next time when you go to the bank as a self-employed person or someone who owns a business, and the consultant at the bank tells you you need a letter, prepare yourself to pay, prepare yourself to wait, because the information that is required, it takes time if you didn't keep proper records. And I just want to remind you of one very important thing. When it comes to making a loan from the bank, whether it's you want to call it funding, or you want to apply for a loan, or you want financing, it's all the same thing. When you want money from the bank, the money is always there. It's not going anywhere. You're not going to lose an opportunity. It won't be too late. There's no need to be desperate or to rush or to panic because you need that letter now. No, the money has always been around. It was there before you started a business. It will be there long after you are no longer there. The money isn't going anywhere. But what is important is that you must be ready and you must be prepared to produce the right documents with the letter. I hope that answers your question. The next time when you hear that you need a letter to apply for a loan, but for more information, click on the link below and get in touch with me or leave a comment. And of course, it would mean so much if you could like and subscribe to this video. Thank you for watching. I am Olivia, owner of Profits and Books, bookkeeping services and online marketing services.